When Martha first walked into the orphanage, she didn't expect her life to change forever. She had worked for decades as a nanny for wealthy families, raising other people's children while she herself lived alone in a modest home. Her skin was dark, her clothes simple, and her pay barely enough to cover rent and food. But her heart had always been big, and when she saw two little children sitting alone in the corner of that orphanage, her soul ached. The boy was frail, with eyes full of fear, and the girl clutched a torn doll to her chest. The staff whispered that nobody wanted them, one was sickly and the other had behavioral issues. Families came and went, always passing by these two. Martha couldn't bear it. She didn't have much, but she had love to give, and that night she signed the papers to adopt them. Life was not easy. Raising children as a single, middle-aged nanny with limited means was a mountain few dared to climb. She worked long hours, sometimes taking double shifts just to keep food on the table. When money ran short, she ate less so her children could eat more. Yet through all the struggles, she poured every ounce of love into them. She taught them to pray, to study hard, and to never let society's labels define who they could become. The boy, Samuel, grew stronger with time. Though doctors once said he wouldn't live long, Martha's care turned him into a determined young man. The girl, Grace, who had once been deemed too difficult, blossomed under Martha's patience and constant encouragement. Both children excelled in school, often surprising teachers with their discipline and intelligence. Years passed, and Martha grew older. Her hair turned gray, her back bent from years of labor, yet she never stopped encouraging her children. She reminded them daily that they were chosen, loved, and capable of greatness. By the time they left for college, she was living on very little, but she never complained. 25 years after the day she walked into that orphanage, Martha sat alone in her worn-out armchair, wondering if life had passed her by. She had given her all, and though proud of her children, she still lived in the same small, crumbling house. But that evening, there was a knock at the door. When she opened it, Samuel and Grace stood there, dressed in suits, smiling with tears in their eyes. They had both become successful, Samuel a doctor, Grace a lawyer. Without telling her, they had worked together to buy her a beautiful new home, a place where she would never worry about rent or bills again. They told her that every sacrifice she made had built the foundation of their lives. Martha wept, not because of the house, but because her children remembered. The world once thought they were unwanted, but to her, they had been a blessing. And now, after all those years of struggle, they showed her that love never returns empty, it multiplies and comes back in the most unthinkable ways.